Hey friends, so welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. My name is Kim.
And I'm Shay.
And today we are going to be talking about love because we're experts at this. We're looking at the Reddit dating advice page, and I want to say, don't take our advice, but, maybe do. Maybe we have something interesting to share, but you be the judge of that.
Yep. First one, here we go. I don't know. I am a 31-year-old male and have never been on a date, never been intimate, never have been kissed. I want to change this so I'm not alone for the rest of my life, but don't understand what I can do. I really need advice. For extra info, I'm 5'4" and an unattractive face. So I can't attract anyone with my looks. First of all, he has no confidence. And I believe that confidence is probably the number one main attraction. I would hope and think once you get past the looks. But he lacks confidence. So I would say start there first and foremost. I'm not sure if this person is a social being or if they go out or they build rapport relationship with people. But unless he's a hermit and he stays home, I don't know.
At this point, this might be something that you need to purchase. If that is...
Dang. I didn't even think about that.
It's not going to take care of the being alone for the rest of your life kind of thing. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't want that. But if you want to at least have those experiences that you say that you haven't had, then maybe a trip to Vegas or...
What's Vegas going to do for this man?
Well, I just think in Vegas it'd be a little bit more accessible. He'd be able to find those particular services like a little bit easier, I think. I mean, I don't know where he is. Services. He could be in Vegas. I said he's going to have to purchase it. Oh. I think like if it's just about having those experiences, which it sounds like it's not. It sounds like there's like you don't want to be alone forever, you said. So I get that, but that is a much bigger task because that obviously that means that you have some internal stuff to deal with because, obviously you don't seem to like yourself very much.
I definitely think start inward.
Yeah, or at least you don't think that other people can have an interest in you, even to start. So I feel like if you want like some of the more visceral or physical things, then that's something that you could find someone who you could buy that from. But Vegas, I think there's like this legal, right?
Yeah. Very much so.
Also, I want to make it clear, not like promoting that necessarily. That's not what I'm saying. He asked for the advice. And I'm simply saying that might be something you could do. Maybe.
Get the confidence, because if you don't have it, I don't think you won't attract much of anything. I don't know what this person does in their spare time, but it sounds like he is pretty daggone alone. Okay? And it needs to change. So yes, maybe he needs to go to Vegas,
find a legal, consenting, adult type establishment. And
that could build confidence.
That might also help you build some confidence.
There you go. Motivation.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on online dating? I, 34-year-old female, have finally decided to quit online dating because it has become so difficult and sometimes toxic. I always fail to present myself well during dates. I'm always awkward and shy. Plus, I'm one of those people whom you have to get to know. I always end up getting ghosted, or the guys just do not take time to ask questions to get to know me. I've tried Facebook, Match, Hinge, eHarmony with no luck. Sometimes I don't even get asked out for a date. I am a Black female, recently went back to school, currently work in retail. I have a car and apartment. I'm very introverted, very quiet and kind. I'm very slender, work out, eat healthy, moderate in looks department. Which of these things are working against me? What are men out there looking for in a woman? I also feel like I need about 3 to 5 dates to fully express myself. I feel like it takes time to decide if you like someone. Why are things always ending after the first or second dates? Or why am I not getting any dates at all sometimes? It's been like going on 3 years since I was last doing online dating, and I was on Hinge, and I was the one and only because I could only handle one. If you are like trying to date men, what I understand is happening is that a lot of men are just kind of like swiping every woman. They're just kind of swiping whatever woman comes to them.
Yeah. So
the hope, I think, for them is that one or two that they actually like or actually want to get to know will respond to them. And then the rest, you know, like you might reach out to someone, he wasn't really interested in you. He was just kind of trying to play the numbers. And so he might not get back to you.
I feel like when it comes to online dating, I don't care what app you're on, it seems as though the people kind of repeat themselves because everyone's using the same apps. They figured if one app don't work, if one app don't work, they're going to get on 2 other apps and be on there at the same time. But in terms of, I don't think she should feel bad that just because she's on a dating app that she's not getting dates. Maybe those individuals, people that she see, maybe she's wanting to match with someone and they're not necessarily matching with her, or no one's engaging. Because that's one thing I noticed in my time, you know. I was out here in these streets. I noticed that guys lack a form of communicating. I don't think they know how to, some individuals do not know how to have a conversation. Once you get the basics out of the way, where do you live, where are you from, then it just falls flat. There is an art that's been lost of like having a conversation or engaging someone in conversation to get to know them. That's another thing. That's another issue that I found, that some of these guys that's on these apps don't want to necessarily get to know you. It could just be more so for the hookup, if you will. So I would say, one, just count your blessings that you haven't been on any other dates. And if it hasn't gone past the first or the second date, it may be for a reason. They may be entertaining multiple other women. They may have someone on the side. They may not be interested. And that's okay, especially if you haven't even been given a full opportunity to reveal who you are, or for them to really truly get to know you. And if they're not digging deep and not asking questions about you, or like really showing interest in you, genuine interest in you, then it's not even worth forcing and asking or being bothered as to why. I think that hang up or that issue is that person's problem, that man's problem, or whomever. That's their issue. Everything's microwave. Everything people are putting themselves out there, and I don't think they all have the same goal as what this young lady may have. Maybe she truly wants a long-term relationship. Some people might identify and say that they want the same, but I think they lie to themselves to attract, just to be like, oh yeah, I'm going for this, just to kind of play the game with you. So you have a lot of game players that are on these apps, and they'll play the game until they get whatever it is that they want. It's up to you to determine what that is, and to also discern whether or not they are truth tellers or they're just straight up lying to your face.
If this is your idea of you being at your best, and you are an introvert, and you know, you feel like you don't get to fully express yourself, if everything that you've said here is the way that it is, I don't know if you're going on these dates and because you're shy, you're behaving in a way that's like off-putting to people. Like, we don't know that, for example.
What that behavior is.
But let's just say that's not what's happening. You're open and you're as engaging as you feel like you can be. If you're on a first date with someone and you feel like you're having a hard time, like, expressing yourself, maybe even say to that person, just so you know, I'm really introverted, I'm really shy, I am enjoying myself. If you're enjoying yourself, don't lie, but if you are, and if you feel like, you know, maybe you're not getting as much from me, feel free to ask me questions. It takes me a little while to open up. Like, you can just explain that to someone, and I think someone would understand. Like, I would understand if someone said to me, just to let you know, bear with me, you know, hopefully if we get to have follow-up dates, then you'll get to see a little bit more of my personality. I'm just a really reserved person when I first meet somebody. Like, you can say something like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with you just based on what you put here. It just sounds like you're doing the best that you can and it just hasn't worked out yet. I find that the dating apps, at least for me, I think because I'm also really introverted, it's actually a little bit easier for me if I can actually meet someone in person.
I understand the sentiment behind just quitting online dating because I share the same sentiment. It is exhausting. It is frustrating, especially when you're trying to understand the why, especially when you start off with a conversation or even just a date. Right? A lot of people don't get the why behind it, but take some time to just quiet yourself and think about what that experience is, what those experiences have been. It might not even be you. It might be them. That's all I got. Good luck, girl. Met this guy at a party and hit it off. He friended me on Facebook the next day and has just been chit-chatting, mundane stuff for a week. Why doesn't he just ask me out or for my number? What's the point in this?
That's an interesting question to me because friending on Facebook, has that started to mean more now than it meant?
No. It means the same. Somebody said it's more of a connection. I look at when people say, "Ooh, I'm going to follow you on social media." It's literally just that. It's just a connection. I don't know what the mundane stuff is. It probably is basic stuff. Ooh,
how's your day?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look at this, look at that. You see that? Ha ha ha. If the conversation hasn't opened up to where there's some expression of wanting to know more about you or alluding to interest in you, then I wouldn't even think that far ahead and say, oh, why don't he just ask for my number or ask me out? He might just really want to be your friend.
If you are someone who you're like, look, I don't care about this acquaintance stuff. I don't care to friend someone unless I'm going to actually be their friend or be close to them. Like maybe you're someone that does take Facebook friending very seriously and you take mundane, hey, how are you? Kind of text very seriously. I would just say relax maybe, because it sounds to me like he's just making conversation.
Just because y'all hit it off at the party, he could very well just, yes, he friended you on Facebook. Y'all follow each other now. Congratulations. He very well could just be looking for insight too into your page and, kind of gathering ideas of your thoughts on whatever the mundane stuff is. If it's just something as simple as, hey, how's the weather over there today for you? Did you see the sun set? Then maybe he's not so much interested. But, who knows? You never know. He could very well say, okay, I made this connection. I have this person who's now a friend. Let's just see. Hi, guys. I'm looking for opinions on this situation. I've had a crush on a coworker for months, and it started to seem like he was interested to a couple of months ago.
Punctuation.
Okay. After the Christmas holidays, it became a little more obvious since he paid me a compliment and made an effort to make conversation quite often. So after making sure he wasn't seeing anyone, I sent him a message asking him if he wanted to go for coffee at the weekend. At work, he told me he had no plans. He thanked me for the invite, but said his friend had got onto him just after work and she was coming from another part of the country to stay for the weekend. So I thought he wasn't interested in me at first. But ever since then, he smiles a lot at me. And on Wednesday, our first interaction since asking him out, he asked me if I had plans for the evening. I had to say I had a class, but it left me wondering if he was going to ask me out then, because he'd never asked me that question on a weekday. The next day, he stopped me in the corridor to ask me about the class, and again, he showed a lot of interest and was very smiley. I believe that if he had no interest whatsoever in dating me, he would be keeping his distance from me after that message, at least at first. But he's a very mysterious person, so I don't know what to think. Any thoughts? Should I ask him out again in a more direct way if he doesn't make a move? Thanks.
Sure. Yeah, why not? I mean, you can ask them out in a direct way. I've had a few coworkers either ask me out or hit on me, but I've also known people who are like very smiley and very bubbly. And sometimes people with that kind of personality, if that's his personality, like they can come off as being flirtatious, even though that's not necessarily what they're doing. Sometimes that just gets misconstrued, and that's normal. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I mean, when I read some of these posts, I'm just confused about why people are posting, because I feel like if you want to ask this person out because you want to know, then go ahead and ask them out. The only reason I can assume you're not asking them out is because you're afraid that they'll reject you, which I completely get. I don't like rejection. No one likes rejection. But I kind of feel like you answered yourself instead of sitting around wondering.
Yeah.
You could just ask.
Literally, that was like 5 paragraphs. And like you said, basically this person answered their own question. If you've already been engaging in conversation of sorts with this individual, and it seems as though that it constantly happens, just ask if he wants to go out again. And if he says no, or if he says, oh, I have this, that, and the third to do, then he very well may have something to do. Or he may just want to avoid the whole ask and just be nice about it. But you can ask. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing in this post that indicates to me that he had a special interest. But I do think that it's fine to ask as long as there's no policy where you work that you don't fraternize with your coworkers.
Yes.
And there's no like power dynamic that's inappropriate,
right?
Then I think, yeah, you could just ask this person.
And at that part, I would just be like, and if he is interested and there is no power dynamic that's happening there, then let him just come to you. If you ask 2 or 3 times, I ain't asking no more.
What would you guys? No.
I'm just saying, I don't know. She asked the first time, then she trying to circle back. She gonna ask again. If she asks again, and if you do, we advocate that. Go ahead, ask again.
You could say
more
directly if you wanted to. And then you could make plans. If, you know, you send a message and say, do you want to go to coffee on the weekend? And he's not available on the weekend. You could always just say, hey, you know, I'm interested in you. I like you. Would you be interested in going on a date with me? And then let him answer that question.
Yeah, but don't let it be a third time.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. No. I think that's why I prefer the date question, the directness of that, because coffee is ambiguous.
It is.
It's ambiguous in the sense that what someone's intention might be. Yeah, exactly. I've gone to coffee with plenty of people. Yeah. I wasn't on a date with most of them.
Yes.
You know? So
you gotta lead with that.
Exactly.
I like you.
Yeah.
Would you like to go to coffee with me?
Yeah. So if you want a clear answer, you just need to ask a clear question.
There you go.
Basically.
Boom. 3 times and that's it.
Girl texted me after 2 months of no contact. Should I pursue? I met this girl a couple of months ago and we casually dated for 2 months. Things were going well and I was about to ask her for an exclusive, but then I started noticing she was pulling back. I didn't contact her for about 2 weeks, hoping she would be the one to contact first, but that never happened. I caved and messaged her. She told me that she enjoys talking to me and that she really likes, but she feels like things were moving too fast since she just got out of a relationship a couple months prior, so she decided to take a break. Fast forward 2 months, she texted me saying that she's been thinking about me and wondering if we could give what we had before another chance. The emotional part of me wants to meet up with her and see what really happened, and the logical part of me is telling me that I should just decline and move on. Even though I've been dating and talking to other girls during those 2 months, I still think about her from time to time and ask myself the what ifs. Honestly, the only thing holding me back is her lack of communication. I'm sure that if I wouldn't have reached out after those 2 weeks of no contact, she would have ghosted me with no explanation.
So if it's more about you addressing the what ifs with this person, then if you want to entertain it, meet up with them to find out what happened. And the only thing you really can do in that situation, I mean, things happen. Would it be any harm going to meet this person to talk and maybe it be in a space to really have a conversation of what happened, you know what I mean, to get something from that encounter, maybe.
I don't know. I'm a little too avoidant, and I probably would just be like, nah, that's like, I probably just wouldn't respond. Not saying that's what you should do. I mean, I agree. You don't know why she took the break, or why she stopped communicating. You can always ask that. But I think too, like, if you still have feelings for this person, which is what I think you're saying here, then I think you owe it to yourself to try to pursue that too. If she's coming back saying that she's interested and you still have an interest, so it's mutual, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, okay, that was a little bit of a hiccup. And you can always discuss with her, I guess, how you feel about her communication. Yeah. In a way, obviously, that's not accusatory. Like, I wouldn't say to her, you didn't talk to me for 2 months. And, I wouldn't approach it from the point of like being hostile towards her, because you don't know why. Yeah. But I don't think you're obligated to reach out. I don't think you're obligated to, pick up where you left off. Right. But I think since it sounds like she wants to, and it sounds like you want to, then it's perfectly fine to do that.
Go find out what it is. And if that's what your intention is, make sure that your communication is clear and read the room.
Yeah, this is what happens when you get advice from 2 old ladies. Like, we're just like, communicate, go to therapy, don't be so hard on yourself. Yes. Everything's okay.
It's okay. I don't completely say let it go. I mean, I've been in a situation where I talk to someone and then they just kind of fall flat and then they resurface and then you're like, so what had happened to you? And then it's like a whole nother story. Sometimes if you can get the story straight, you know what I mean? Like, make sense of it. It's not a whole lot of moving pieces in it. It's not too wild, too unbelievable. Then maybe, you can just kind of measure it and just see from there what that communication is, what that connection is moving forward. Because, I mean, you're curious about it. So go and find out. Just take precaution. That's all. Because people do play games, but then people obviously do go through things and need time. And you don't know what that person went through, experienced, and had going on. So provide grace. Be open to hear what they have to say. Open lines of communication, right? And then discern for yourself whether or not it's worth continuing or pursuing. I just wish you good luck.
So that's going to be all for today. Yes. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and come back next time.
Yep. We'll see you soon.
And we'll see you then.
All right. Bye.
Hopefully we've helped these people make the love connections that they deserve. I don't know.
Listen.
Trying to close this
no
video.
Coffee. Go ahead. That was real quick.
Ew.
No. Oh, God
Whoa. Whoa.
That is a whole episode in itself. That's a lot to decipher there. Whoa.